One of the most fun video games based on a movie that I remember playing as a kid was Madagascar for GameCube. That game brings back so much nostalgia. I remember having so much fun playing that game, and today I'm going to replay it and see just how well it holds up. If it's actually a good game, or it could just not be enjoyable, and I just thought it was fun because I was a kid and there was nothing else to play. So let's start. Let's get into this. So you start up the game of Madagascar. You get a nice little intro screen, and when you create a new save file, you start the game with a cutscene. And I really don't remember the first movie all that well, so I'm assuming that this cutscene is from the first movie. It starts out with Alex the lion chasing Marty the zebra, and then it abruptly cuts from the movie cutscene to the low poly game. Very sudden, very jarring, and Marty the zebra wants to break out of the zoo. That is his plan right now because there's more to life than being stuck in the zoo. So in order to do that, first, you got to collect 3 cards, and when you collect them all, you get the ability to kick. This is going to be very important because there's a lot of shit you got to kick. There's too much you got to kick. You got to be ready for it. Also, the first thing I noticed playing the game was that the camera controls are so annoying because they're inverted, and I tried to go to the settings and change them. There was no option to change them. You could change the sound, you cannot change the controls. So I'm kind of fucked for the whole game on that, but whatever, it's fine. So you meet up with Alex, and now you have to play as Alex, go through his whole routine, get his 3 cards to get an ability, which gives you the double jump. And you use the double jump to jump through hoops, you scare some birds that are trying to shit on you, and you do your signature pose, and you're done as Alex. You did your routine. So Marty continues his adventure and journey through the zoo. Next, he has to go to Gloria the hippo, but before you do that, there's an Easter egg arcade game that you can play, and I did not enjoy this game at all. It was not fun at all. It was worse than anything I've even made personally, any of the video games I've made, not even as good as that. And I've made some really shitty games. Not to shit on the developer who made this. I'm sure he's very proud of this tank game. I'm sure he put a lot of love into it, but this is like a game a middle schooler makes in his intro to Python class. So once I was finished with that mini game, I headed over to Gloria, and now you gotta play as her and race some ostriches, and this part was honestly kind of fun, but I think that's just because I like racing games. So you run around as her, you collect hot peppers that make you go faster, you knock out ostriches, and much like the Shark Tale game, you only win the race because in both laps you take a shortcut. If you didn't take the shortcut, you probably wouldn't win at all. But it was a pretty easy race, nothing too crazy, and that's the end of Gloria's part. And then you move on to the best part of the zoo, the best part of Madagascar in general, which is the penguins. And this part was not that fun. You have to fish for different colored fish, but the up and down controls are inverted. I'm flying a fucking fighter jet. I don't know why they're so dead set on these inverted controls, but you got to do that. And after you're done with the fish, then you have to steal shit from people at the zoo, which was pretty funny. It wasn't fun at all, but it was funny, and I appreciated that humor. And then you get to Melman, the giraffe, and his whole thing is that he's a germaphobe and he has to clean his pen. So you run around spamming your spin attack until you reach 50 items cleaned, and the controls are very clunky as him. It's not that easy to control, but after you're done with that minigame, that completes the first level of Madagascar. We have completed the intro, and so far, I am not enjoying this game at all. This is not a fun experience for me. I am hoping that it ends soon, but obviously we're right at the beginning. It's not going to end anytime soon. So we move on to level 2, and in level 2, it's time to break out of the zoo. The main penguin shows up to help Marty out of his cage and give him a plan. I don't know his name. There's 4 of them. I forgot all of their names. I'm really sorry. I didn't pay attention to that shit, but he's helping you break out of the zoo. So first, you got to collect all the power cards from the different animals to learn how to crawl, and then you crawl to get a key. You sneak past security to use the key, sneak past some more security, kill security with trash cans and janitor supplies. You activate the zoo sound speakers to trick security. You collect more keys, open more doors, play more shitty minigames, which to be honest, I was having way more fun playing this shitty Asteroids ripoff than I was playing the actual game. I'd rather play this minigame for the entire 3.5 hours, however long this game is, than play the actual main game, which I think shows how bad the main game is. But I got bored of it after 2 minutes, so I moved on. I kept going until I got to the polar bear, and he warns you that there's a dude with a tranquilizer gun trying to kill, well, not kill, I guess tranquilize any loose zoo animals. So I guess this is the first boss battle of the game. So you lure and kill some more security guards to get to him. The penguin flies away on some balloons, and now it's time to fight the first boss. And honestly, he wasn't that hard at all, but I did die a few times because first off, controls suck. I just want to get that across. The controls in this game, and I think all old games, are really bad. They're not tight. And the second thing is that apparently if you enter the cops light, you get busted and lose, which didn't make any sense to me because the cops clearly know you're there. That's why they were sent there in the first place. But you just have to kill the 3 cops and run over and push janitor supplies onto the dude, and it pushes a statue off balance that falls over him. It was an easy boss battle, and that completes the second level. And I am enjoying this game even less than I was before. But I will say, this is not the worst stealth mission I've played in a video game. I've played way worse stealth missions in fucking AAA titles, so I'll give them credit on that. Not the worst stealth mission. So we move on to level 3, and now, aside from just Marty breaking out, the rest of the animals broke out too, and now they're in New York City. And Alex the lion steps in zebra shit and realizes, oh shit, Marty's here too, and now he has to run through the city and find him. So you run through the streets of New York as Alex, jumping through hoops again, scaring people, dodging cars, and avoiding barking dogs. And eventually you get to the subway entrance, and at the entrance, there is another arcade game, and this time we could play everyone's favorite game, Wobble Bird Air Force. If you haven't played Wobble Bird Air Force, you have never lived life. This is the best fucking game ever. And when I say that, I mean it's somehow worse than both of the other arcade games. It is so hard to chase and shoot down one of these fucking planes. It took me so long to figure it out, and I still didn't really figure it out. It is some of the worst controls ever, but I was still having more fun playing that than running through the streets of New York. So after I had enough of Wobble Bird Air Force, I kept running through the subway as Alex. You exit, and it's time to fight some cops. And in order to stop them, you roar and push them into manholes where they fall and die, never to be seen again, or you push them into dinosaur animatronics that eat them. And after going on this cop killing spree, they call for backup and you run through the streets more. And I got stuck on this street because I kept getting hit by cars nonstop. Like as soon as I got up, another fucking car hit me over and over again. But I kept going, and eventually now it's Gloria's turn to run. So you run with her collecting hot peppers to go faster and make your ass shake faster, and some cops start jumping on your back to stop you until you get your new power-up, Butt Bounce, which allows you to slam on the ground and send the cops flying. These cops did not survive. They fucking did not make it. There's no shot. But after you do that, you do a little Frogger minigame and you get sent flying by a car. Because I suck, I tried again, then I kept running. I sent more cops to the moon, got hit by more cars, and I ran until I met up with everyone else again. And now it's time to be Melman the giraffe. And in Melman's part, you gotta jump on top of buses and stay off the ground until you get your helicopter power up, which lets you glide through the air, gain air when you glide over steam from manholes, and you get to decapitate construction workers with your legs. And this might be one of the most fun mechanics in the game yet, but mainly because you don't have anything to do except hold down A and move around. But you kill construction workers until you find Marty outside of Grand Central Station, and then the cops show up and hit you with tranquilizers, and you move on to level 4, where you're on a boat inside of crates. And now this is the best part of the game. This is the part that I've been looking forward to the most, and it's playing as the penguins of Madagascar. I was so fucking excited. So you waddle around the boat as the main penguin, and you call the other penguins to you. When you go over these trumpets, it calls them to you. But the first part was so dumb because I accidentally called them to me, and they're like, oh no, the gate's locked. You gotta find the key. The key is right there. What's the point of that? So I unlock it for them. They eventually come through. Then you slide and kill some of the sailors. And then at this point, I got stuck because there's this big guy you gotta take out, and I kept trying to figure out how to kill him, but he'd stop me so quickly. I didn't have a chance to slide at all, and I kept trying to figure out how to kill him. But then I realized, oh, you don't have to do that. You could just like go past him. He literally wasn't a threat at all. I'm just an idiot. So you go past him, you kill more sailors, you get to a crane where you play a little mini game where you use the crane to pick up all the guys in the boat and put them in a cage, which is clearly stolen from the RuneScape random event. I don't know if you guys have played that before, but it's the same exact thing. And it was kind of fun, I won't lie about that. But after you're done, you head over to the engine room where you push a button to cause the toilets to start shitting everywhere, which causes the sailors and a big guy to go into the bathroom, and then you trap them so that way the penguins can come into the room with you. So you escape with them, head back to the top of the ship, and do the most fun thing yet, which is to take bowling balls and fucking launch them at sailors. You knock them out. They're probably in a coma for the next 2 months. Then you do some more crane action, which also involves you picking up penguins after you jail everyone and putting them next to buttons to open up doors. You head inside and sneak past the guards with a cardboard box, because obviously that's not suspicious at all. They don't notice that shit. You pick up a gun, kill all the fucking guards, you end them, sneak some more, climb up ladders until you get to the ship's captain. And this is the part that I remember very vividly playing as a kid. And it was so hard for me back then. And playing it now, I can see why. It's because the controls suck and it's so hard to like aim and lock onto each person. But eventually I killed them all. And then you kill the captain for whatever reason. He's dead. I don't know who's steering the ship, but you end that level. And overall, this level was honestly pretty fun. It had a good range of different things to do, but I think I mainly liked it because it was the penguins. And who doesn't like the penguins of Madagascar? They're literally the best part of the movie. So we move on to level 5, and now you play as Alex, washed up on the shore of Madagascar, and you need to find your friends. So you walk around killing crabs by roaring at them, or you can pick up mangoes and fucking launch them at them until you get to this bird that tells you if you collect 6 pearls for him, he'll tell you where to find everyone. So you roar at oyster shells until you find all 6 pearls, kill some more crabs because I wanted to. I hate the fucking crabs. And the bird tells you to head over the waterfall. You make your way there and you see your friends, but then they run away. So you have to like parkour your ass up the hill like it's a Fall Guys map until you get to the queen bee. And the queen bee will tell you where your friends went if you help some of her bees find flowers. So you lead the bees like an inch away from her, like literally a foot away from where they originally were, because the flowers were right in front of them. I don't know how stupid these bees were, but the flowers were right there. I barely moved, except for the last one. That was like kind of far. I had to go a little out of the way, but the other two were right in the beginning. So you do that, and she tells you that your friends are down the path, which Alex should have known anyway. He literally just watched them go that way a minute ago. But whatever, thank you, Queen Bee. So you make your way down the path, avoiding these annoying ass plants that hurt you. I hate these things because they have like the biggest hitbox ever. Like even if you jump over them, there's still a good chance that you're gonna get hit by them. But you head down until you get to a bat that tells you he'll help you out if you can protect his mushrooms. And to do that, you just roar at the cockroaches that are trying to steal the mushrooms and make sure there's at least 4 mushrooms left by the time the timer runs out. And I was expecting this to be really easy because the cockroaches at first come out really slowly and only from one side at a time, but then at the last 15 seconds, they're coming out from every fucking angle. And they're quick. It gets so hard. It took me 3 fucking tries to beat this minigame, but I finally beat it. Fuck those cockroaches. So you finish that and the bat comes back with a friend and they lift you up to this tree filled with spiders. And this part sucked so much because at first it was fine because they're like just going across the branches and jumping to the next one and they're just easily killing spiders. But then this one part, I kept falling off and getting hit by spiders the entire time. I fell so many times, and I don't know if they made it like slippery intentional or I was just messing up for a weird reason. I can't figure out why, but it was really annoying. But eventually I made my way towards the exit and I briefly saw Melman. He sprinted away. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know why he did that. He ran like he fucking saw a ghost. I don't know what that's about. So I follow him to the exit and meet up with everyone. And that is the end of the 5th level. Now level 6, we get to the second best part of the Madagascar movie, the lemurs. And they look like shit. They look fucking disgusting. I don't know who textured these lemurs. I'm really sorry. Like, Mort looks good. The other two and like the regular lemurs, they look disgusting. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's not a lemur. And also, you gotta sit through like the longest cutscene yet. This thing was not ending. I was on my phone half the time because I was just sitting there waiting and watching the longest cutscene ever. But after it was over, you're now in a cave, and I don't know why because, you know, I didn't pay attention to the cutscene. Shit took way too long. But you head up the cave while dealing with annoying spiders again. Then you kick like these big rocks, stalagmites, whatever the fuck they're called, to form a path until you make your way out. And now you have to rescue some lemurs from the wind, which I thought was going to be easy. Yet again, it was not. When you mess up and you're not standing directly behind a rock, you get blown back to the start, and I got sent back so many times. If you don't time it perfectly, you are going fucking back to the beginning. And it's really not that far, but just annoying because you gotta stop like every 5 seconds for the next wave of wind again. And I'm playing this just thinking how there hasn't been a single part of this game yet that I have actually enjoyed, because the parts that I did like, I only like because they weren't as bad as the really bad parts, which is not a good sign. That's not a good comparison for what a good part of a game should be. But eventually I got past these wins and the lemurs are safe now, and you play as Alex again, and you gotta do some more climbing, avoiding whatever the fuck these things are, like lions or some shit. I don't even know what they were. But luckily this part was quick. You exit the cave and head up, and now you have a mission where you have to protect the lemurs from the lions, which I now know are apparently called Fusa. So you roar and throw mangoes at the Fusa to kill them. But unfortunately, they're pretty quick and take like multiple roars to kill. So I lost like half the lemurs. They're fucking dead. They're not making it back. I'm sorry, King Julian. But yeah, half your fucking population is just gone now. But it didn't really matter because I guess I had enough lemurs for it to end the level. So we move on to level 7, where we have a banquet. There is a big banquet that the lemurs are throwing, and I have to collect 10 different fruits for it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, at this point, I was not enjoying the game anymore. I had no desire to keep playing this game anymore. I am not having a fun time. There is a lot of nostalgia to this game, but it is just not enjoyable, and I cannot bring myself to finish it. I physically cannot force myself to keep playing it. It's just not going to be a fun time, and the whole point of playing a game, any game, is to have fun, not to force yourself through this shovelware so a movie studio can make a quick buck. So I ended the main story here. But before I completely quit Madagascar, there's still a lot left to explore in the separate minigames that the game has to offer, which are mini golf, shuffleboard, and the lemur rave. And all three of these games were really enjoyable. I had a blast playing all of them. I definitely do have my criticisms about all of them. Like mini golf, first off, was really fun. I enjoyed it so much, especially like the little fun stuff they added, like the crane that picks up the ball or the pipe you go through. And I even got stuck on one of the levels and it took me like fucking 50 tries to beat it, even though it was like a par 3, but I still had fun playing it. But my only comment is that it's just the 9 holes, like there's no other mini golf maps, which sucks because it was definitely the most fun part of the game. Then with shuffleboard, shuffleboard's fun, but you can't play against the bot. You can only play like couch multiplayer, and I didn't really have anyone to play against or even an extra controller, so I had to just play against myself. But I'm sure if I played with someone, it would have been a lot of fun. And then for the lemur rave, it's just like a regular like rhythm game that a game just throws in quickly. But the issue with it was that the songs were all like fucking YouTube copyright free music. And I was used to like the Shark Tale dancing game where it was all like top hits copyrighted music that they added in, which makes it fun to play. But when you're listening to like fucking YouTube background music, it is not that enjoyable. There's just like no reason to keep playing after the first song, because also all 5 songs like sound exactly the same. They're like the same fucking thing. So those are my criticisms on the mini games, but they definitely help make up for the fact that the main game sucks. And I'm sorry if you are a big fan of this game. If it was a big part of your childhood, I don't want to take that away from you, but it was just not enjoyable. It was so bad. I literally could not force myself to sit here and finish this fucking game. Even if it is only like 3.5 hours, I just couldn't do it. But if you've replayed it as an adult, I'd love to hear your comments on it. Also, if there's any movie or like TV show video games that are actually good, that are like on GameCube or something, let me know. I would love to play more of these, but like ones that don't make me want to end it all. That would be really fun. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, have a great fucking day.